What's up guys, Everyday Tools back again with another video. Today we have the Craftsman V20 angle grinder versus the Hyper Tough angle grinder. So this one's 4.5 inch, they're both 4.5 inch. This one's from Walmart for $18. This one's from Lowe's for $39. I got it for $39, usually it's $49. It was on sale, I had to pick it up. It goes with our V20 system. We have a bunch of tools in the system. We got the drill, the light, the impact, all of which are on video a couple videos ago, so you guys can check that out. And today we got my cousin here, and he's going to be explaining what we're going to be doing today.
Okay, so on both of these angle grinders, we'll be testing grinding, cutting, endurance, and feel. So let's just get right to it.
Alright, so first we're going to start off with the Craftsman. So to make the test fair, we're going to take the wheel off and put it on that, and we're going to be using it for the grinding and endurance. Grinding and endurance, but for cutting we're going to be using the beater wheel from the Hyper Tough one. So for the first test, we're going to be just grinding this bolt down. So we're just going to see how it feels. We're not going to be taking off too much material because we want to salvage this piece as much as we can to test both machines. So I'll be testing the Craftsman, my cousin will be testing the Hyper Tough. So let's get right to it. So we can get a nice angle on this one and we'll start grinding. Alright guys, so first we got the Craftsman, it's a 20 volt. So we have the battery in here and we have 2 out of 3 batteries, so it's got enough battery to do this test. And we're just going to be rounding off this bolt. So let's get it started. Let's take the lock off, and all you have to do is press the trigger on this guy, and we all have our safety glasses on, so let's just get right to it. Alright, so it feels great. So the grinder is easily maneuverable, so you don't have a wire or anything. You can go all around like I was doing there. As you guys could see, I was taking a bunch of different angles. I was going on different approaches just to get this bolt rounded down. And it just felt great in the hand. You know, it has the ergonomic grip on the side here, as we can see the textured pattern on there. It's just a great tool. It's got the good grip on the handle. You got some good feel. You know, it just doesn't feel like a $39 tool. It feels like a high quality, you know, DeWalt grade kind of tool right here. So as you can see with this on the angle right here, we have pretty ground down nuts. So that was, it worked well. It did what it was supposed to do, and let's just move right on to the Hyper Tough.
Alright guys, so now we are going to be changing the wheel from the Craftsman to the Hyper Tough. So what you're going to do is you are going to press down on the button on top and then turn the wheel until it locks. It's already in lock form. So what you're going to do is you're going to press it down, make sure it's locked, take the tool and put it in both the holes, make sure it's secure, and turn. And that's really all you have to do. It should unscrew and the wheel is off. Now we have the grinding wheel on the Hyper Tough, and we're just going to be trying to round off the top of the bolt just like the Craftsman. Let's go. Alrighty, well, the first thing I noticed about this was that when I was grinding, it was very shaky, and it being shaky makes it even more hard to hold without like an additional handle like the Craftsman does. There's not a lot of grip, it's very slippery, especially with my gloves on. The wire made it difficult for me to go all the way around because I was afraid that it might hit or, you know, get caught on the hot top of the bolt. But all in all, it was all right. But yeah, that's about it.
Alright guys, so we got the Hyper Tough here. We're just going to be taking off the wheel, and we're going to be putting it on the Craftsman for the next test. We're going to be putting the beater wheel back on. We're going to file both these to the side for now until we go back to our other testing. So we're going to take our Craftsman and we're going to put the beater wheel on because we're going to be doing the endurance test right now. So we're going to be running this thing into some seal and just seeing which one will bug out first. So we're going to be putting this on and tighten it up, and then in the tests we're going to be just seeing the endurance, so whatever works better under a load. So whichever one starts to whine out first, you know, that one's going to have less endurance. I'm assuming it's going to be the Craftsman just based on it being cordless and not having the correct power stream going to it all the time. You know, the load is going to be different. When you have a higher load, the amount of volts going through the tool is going to be less, so your voltage is going to go down when you're putting obviously more pressure on it. So we're going to get to that shot in a minute. Let me just file some stuff to the side and we'll be right there. Alright guys, I'm back. We got the Craftsman, so we're going to be doing the endurance test. I'm basically just going to drive this thing into this U-bolt right here and just take as much off as I can and see how it slows down, how it reacts to the pressure, and then we're going to be comparing it to the Hyper Tough. We're going to be using the same bolt, same wheel, and same amount of pressure. Let's get it started. Alright, so as you can see from that test, the Craftsman does not like pressure. Once you start putting a lot of pressure on it, it cuts out. That's an overload switch inside this. Once it takes too much power going to it, it's going to stop it so that motor doesn't overheat. That's a good feature to have on this thing, because if you just ran that into there, tried to overpower that force, it would destroy the motor. So I like that in the Craftsman. However, since it is a cordless tool, at the end of the day, this tool is not going to be able to go through steel just cutting, like pushing with a grinding wheel. You're going to use a cutoff wheel, you're going to go lighter. With this, you're not going to be doing hard tasks like grinding off big chunks of metal. That's just not what this is for. It's for cutting off, it's for grinding down, but you're not going to be doing stupid stuff like this, just going full force into a U-bolt like that. It's just not something smart to do with a cordless tool. I did expect this. It did last pretty long into the test before it cut out, and it did take a pretty nice chunk of steel out of that thing right there, but at the end of the day, you know, the Craftsman is a cordless tool, and the convenience of cordless does come with some drawbacks. And this is one of them.
Alrighty, so now we are just going to be testing the endurance. We're using the wonderful Hyper Tough. Let's see how it goes. Alrighty, well, as you can see, it never fully stopped, but it was at the point where it should have, or I should have at least. Obviously, when you're angle grinding something, you're probably never going to put that much force onto it, so that's never going to happen, but all in all, it was pretty good. It never fully stopped, it cut right through, but yeah, I would say the endurance test went pretty well. Alright, now we're going to be cutting straight down through this, just aluminum, with the Hyper Tough. Let's just get it straight into it. There definitely were a lot of sparks. Some of them hit me. That's fine. It cut straight through pretty easily. Well, that's probably because it's aluminum, but it came off pretty easily. It was very difficult to have an angle, like a straight down angle on it, because there are only two set. There's on the left side and the right side for holding, but overall cut through pretty well. Well, yeah, that's about it.
Alright guys, we're back. We got the Craftsman here. I changed the angle. So this is one big advantage that we have with this, is that we're able to change the angle of the handle on this. So I've put the handle on the top so I can get a better angle for this cut. Like my cousin was saying with the other one, it might not work well. We were talking about that earlier. We'll see how it does in the test, but let's just try the Craftsman and see how this does. Alright, so the Craftsman worked pretty well. This wheel is just so small on here. It's really ground down to pretty much nothing. At this point, we definitely have to get a new wheel right after this video is done. If this had a longer wheel on that, I would have got through that in one cut. However, since it didn't have that one wheel, the good size wheel, I had to go on a different side. But at the end, it came off pretty cool, so that was awesome. The Craftsman, obviously having that angle advantage is a lot nicer than the Hyper Tough. But other than that, you know, it worked well. It went through it. It didn't stall out, you know, like it did with the other test. This is a lighter task, obviously. It's just aluminum. but it went through it very well and with ease. So the Craftsman worked really well in this test, and I applaud the ability of doing that. It's awesome. Alright guys, so the last section of this test is just the feel and the build quality of the tool. With the Craftsman, you have a very premium quality tool here. So with the handle, it just feels great. It's got nice markings on it to feel, just have some grip on it. You know, you can put it on different angles. The build quality is just built very well on this. You know, you got the buttons feel nice, they click well. You know, it just feels like a nice quality tool. Also over here, you know, you got your plastic. It's not bad quality plastic. It's not the scratchy stuff that it is on the Hyper Tough, which seems like it's just gonna break. This one's got a nice overmold, so you can't feel any injection points. There are no rough spots. The ergonomics of this tool are just over the top. So if you're looking for a nice angle grinder for the price, $39, you can't beat it. The price factor on this one is just blowing it through the roof. $39 for this tool, you can't beat that. It's nowhere else. The DeWalt one equivalent of this is about $120, and I just can't see where it could be above and beyond and reach that price of that much of a difference. So like I said, the ergonomics of this grip feel great. The trigger's great. My only complaint is not being able to lock it in run mode. That's the only complaint I have about this, but you know, we can use our different batteries. This is still on 2, and we've been using it for the whole test. So this is an only 2 amp hour battery. You can put the 4 amp, the 6 amp, whatever you want to put on this, and they all interchange with the V20 system. So overall, this tool is great, and I definitely recommend it. And just to say, like, the build quality is awesome, and just it went through all those tests perfectly, and it's just a very nice tool.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with my cousin here. On the Craftsman, you just have a very well-built tool, from grip to buttons to just the whole tool. On this, you only have 2 slots for the grip from left and right, which doesn't give you the advantage when cutting straight down like we did in the test, so it didn't work out as well. The grip on the back is really, it's just not capable of holding well because it's very slippery. There's no really, it's just not like a rubbery grip that you can really hold on to. You really have to use like your whole arm to just grip onto it. In the test, it did all right, but I feel that overall the Hyper Tough did not do as well as the Craftsman in this situation. The button here, when you turn it on, sometimes it'll click back. It doesn't always hold its place, which is very dangerous if you're in the middle of cutting a piece of metal. If it clicks back, it could get caught and like potentially just hurt yourself or your wrist. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, so as you can see through these tests, I think we have come up with a clear winner. Obviously the Craftsman is just a better tool. For the price, I mean, you're at $40 compared to the $20 of this one. It's half the price. It's good for, you know, your DIY or you're just doing some random stuff on the side. This works for you. It's been good to us for 2 years. I didn't think I can get that much use out of it. And it's still functioning. The Craftsman, we just got it. We'll see how it does. We'll have some follow-up videos, testing it on other things. But overall, it's a great tool. I definitely recommend it. Pick one up at Lowe's. You know, it's a great product. You can pick it up at Lowe's, Ace Hardware, wherever they sell the new Craftsman stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks to my cousin for helping me out with this video. We had a great time just testing all these tools, putting it all together, and we're going to have a good time editing this video too. So thanks for watching. Check out our other videos. We got other videos on the Craftsman tools. We had the impact driver test. We're going to be having a video on the drill soon. We're going to be putting up the drill up against my DeWalt, and it's just going to be a lot of quality content coming out in Everyday Tools, and I'm excited to see what we have coming in the future. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe, leave any questions in the comments, and God bless. Have a great night.